Hello, a community of spouses and spouses to be. We're going to continue in our series on back to the basics in marriage, the importance of the marriage covenant. And today I want to share with you, this is probably a touchy subject even for me, but I want to discuss with you the importance of family in marriage. There is a pros and there is a cons when it comes down to family. I don't want to say blessings or curses, but there's definitely pros and there's definitely cons. However, in a marriage covenant, we have to be reminded and we have to be make it known in the beginning that you are not married to your family. Your family is not married to you. You are married to each other as husband and wife. And so I want to share a verse from you from Genesis chapter 2. And I'm going to read from 21 to 24. And it says, "So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. While the man slept, the Lord God took out one of the man's ribs and closed up the opening. Then the Lord God made a woman from the rib, and he brought her to the man. 'At last,' the man exclaimed, 'this one is bone for my bone and flesh for my flesh. She will be called woman because she was taken from man.' This explains why a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two are united as one." Another verse said, "The two shall cleave as one." And there's also another verse. I'm going to read that one for you. It's actually in Ephesians. And I think it comes from Ephesians chapter 5, verses 31. And it says, "As the scriptures say, a man leaves his father and mother and is joined to his wife, and the two are united into one." A man leaves his mother and father and is united, joined, connected, cleave to his wife. Sometimes, and it will happen, unless you first have a conversation about it in the beginning. Family can be a issue in marriage. There's probably no other way else to say it. But there is a way to handle it where there is a respect level. There is a way to handle that if it is something that is brought up and addressed in the beginning of your marriage. So for instance, parents should definitely call before they come over, or parents shouldn't probably give their input unless the other person asks. It's just certain things that parents don't know because they wasn't taught it, and all they know is what they know. And so a lot of people are old school and go by old rules and stuff, and then some people just have no consideration of the marriage covenant. And the same with them, they wasn't taught, they didn't know. All they did was got married. We got married, we gonna learn how to you cook, you clean, you have sex, and that's it. But there is a respect line when it comes down to family, and it needs to be addressed. This can be a huge issue in the marriage covenant if it is not addressed in the beginning. For some of us who have already got married and we did not have this conversation, we're having to learn and how to navigate it through as we go through. The reason why I want to connect this video with the last video, because like I spoke and said that it's important that you know who you're marrying and know their family. Knowing their family kind of gives you a understanding of kind of a heads up of what you're getting, what you're kind of getting ready to get into. Okay, you see, okay, well, daddy, he drinks. Okay, do you drink? The daddy messing around. Are you gonna be messing around? In families, there are a lot of familiar spirits that is connected to the bloodline, and sometimes those spirits, demonic spirits, try to connect themselves with you and your covenant. And so in doing so, you know, certain things are brought to your marriage that, you know, you probably want to welcome it. This is another reason why I cannot emphasize enough about praying and fasting together, apart, about praying and fasting and speaking to God on what He will have your marriage be and what His plan is for your marriage. It is very important, very essential, vital in the beginning that you set the ground rules. If your family is out of town, are they going to come and stay at your house when they come in town? Is your family going to are we going to go to your family's house for Christmas or Thanksgiving, or are they going to come here? Or, you know, it's just little small things, but it can be a big thing. Maybe we could do, you know, Thanksgiving at your mom's house, and we do Christmas at, you know, my mom's house. There has to be some type of order. Establish order early in the marriage covenant. It will make a huge difference. Have these kind of conversations with each other early in reference to the family. You thinking, oh, well, you know, we've known each other forever, and, you know, they know my family, and family, it's the same way. You know, oh, well, we've been family, and, you know, every time I come here, this is what I do. But the other person may not be okay with that. And so it's very important that you have order set in the beginning when it comes down to family. Family can be a blessing or a curse. They have their pros and they have their cons. And it's not to push family away or to just say, oh, it's going to just be me and my three, or just me and my, you know, my family here. Not to push them away, but it has to be some type of order set. Otherwise, you have a whole lot of, you know, walking over, and you have a whole lot of, you know, where it's almost like you choose in between. You know, sometimes you have mothers who, you know, are in love with their sons, and you have, you know, fathers who are, you know, a particular way about their daughters. And so it has to be a cutoff in order for there to be a set of respect in the beginning. So I just wanted to just press in on that when you leave your mother and father's house, your mother and father's house, you are to cleave to your wife. You are to cleave to one another. You are to come into unity and harmony with one another. That is so important. How can two walk together unless they first agree? And that means sometimes even tearing down the habits and the things that you learned growing up. You know, you may grew up and, you know, this is what was taught in your house. This is what you know, grew up doing. But when you get with your husband, and especially if it's not in the order of God, it might be something that you cannot do anymore. If you used to, okay, well, we didn't go to church on Sunday. You know, we know the Lord, but, you know, we went on vacation on Sundays, or, you know, we didn't do that kind of stuff, or we didn't sit down and eat dinner at the table, or we didn't, you know, go on family gatherings and trips and stuff. Well, what if that other person did? Well, that was important. When they say bringing two people together as one, it really is kind of like McDonald's and Burger King coming together and say, we're going to, you know, have a business with McDonald's and Burger King. I wonder what that name would be. I don't know. But that's almost how it is. You're bringing two totally different people together under one roof to become one. They have all their mores and all the things that they learned from their family, and then you have all your mores, for all the things that you learned from your family, and you saying your stuff is right, and your way is right, and they're saying their stuff is right and their way is right, and it causes a bunch of confusion. Set order early when it comes down to family. That's why it's important to know who you're marrying. Once you know who you're marrying, what you're dealing with, then you be like, okay, we're not going to do that. We can do that. No, we're not going to do that. You want to get in alignment with God. Set order early when it comes down to family. There are some things that we have done in our family growing up that may not be allowed or acceptable in your household. Take heed to family matters. Place that in order in the beginning. Blessings.